and they do nothing for like an hour and then they come back. But during that hour, that's usually when you see a slowdown in price action, and that's the time of the day for a very simple reason. You know, they're off to lunch. When you get the Shanghai exchange high or a low. But I use generally the Tokyo high, that high that was made during the lunch break. That is my reference high. After that, I sometimes do either depends on where the price action is. Like, for example, if we finished the Shanghai exchange somewhere here, I would then be looking for a swipe through the Tokyo high before anything. So it's like a little scalp. But, you know, I usually like to be a little bit further out to get a good profit margin. However, if we're so close to it and the Shanghai exchange is already about to close, I will look for a reversal through the Asia range, usually for about 50%. Sometimes it rotates all the way, but it's kind of contextual. If it's a very strong uptrend and you're smashing the Asia low and then reversing, then you have a better chance of it going all the way back through the highs. But that's a context thing on this strong trending market. It doesn't happen always. However, the 50% pullback, that's something that happens most days. And yeah, it's a pretty sweet setup. So well done, Dave. It's a good trade. And it was really drama free as well, because I stayed up until about, I think it was like 1:30 a.m. and grabbed about whatever this is, like 209 ticks. It was only one micro gold, hilariously. So I waited a little bit, and then once they opened Shanghai, they just kind of actually they pushed from Tokyo. And yeah, I entered once I saw some like strength in and around VWAP, and there was like volume to support it. And then once Tokyo opened, they went and smashed it even higher. So that was pretty sweet. And I had the 48.50 as my target. It got touched, and then that was pretty much where they started creating a little bit of a top. So those levels become orientation points. But one thing that I have noticed, yesterday we had a gamma wall around 48.50. Now that's moved higher, so we have a gamma wall from the end of day snapshot at 4900, and then we have a lot of puts at 4800. Now the reason why I said they didn't go below 4800, even though they seem to be reversing, is because of that, right? So these are protective puts. So if you can't break 4800, we're just going to stay in that range. So that is one of the levels that is of interest to me. If they start to break outside of that, there could be a very nice movement down to 47.50, and then that will be, I think, within the day's movement. Alright, so let's see what is going on in crude oil now, because I might have a setup. I'm just going to quickly go through the levels. So we don't have too much here. There's a end of day GEX 2, which was a decent level yesterday. We're kind of above it right now, but we are also failing the auction, so difficult. Very difficult. And we have VWAP just underneath that. That's not too perfect. Because, you know, VWAP bounce is always a risk, and then you have to like sit through a drawdown in order to get a bigger target in general. So it's not super ideal, but it is failing the auction. So these blue lines, they are the initial bounce markers. And then to the downside, we have a very strong put wall at 90. And then further down, 88 is a potential area. So yeah, levels are stronger. Let's just try like one crude oil, because I mean, it is failing the auction, so let's give it a go. Positive delta on crude oil, 1,731. Let me just check when I'm looking at that. You know what? Let me change that to the London delta, because I have it from Globex. Let's see what London is doing. I mean, pretty much the same, right? It's still positive delta, but so far, again, sitting in a supply area, so near these like resistances, whatever you want to call it. And let's see if they can break 92. I kind of feel this is copy-paste from yesterday. Deja vu. Deja vu. Yeah, and this is probably a function of the rollover, right? So they try to go somewhere, the steam runs out, and then they're like, yeah, let's go back down. So yeah, I could, you know, leave this longer to try and tag 90, but the rollover is just kind of preventing me from running slightly bigger targets. So, I mean, even if I get some 70 ticks from this, the only thing is, like I said, VWAP bounce, so I'm expecting it to tag VWAP, do a bit of drama, and then maybe we'll go through it on the second try. So let's just expect that as a possibility. Now I suppose you can have a similar setup in gold as well, because gold is trying to go higher, and since they're negatively correlated, that would be pretty much the same thing. But gold might be a bit quicker. Just wish that I had a better level here. So if I do go into gold, that would have to be like a scalp up to 48.50 and then the end. But they've bounced from this developing value low here. So yeah, let's change that. And what sort of size do we need? 75 might suffice. Okay. Not perfect, but let's see if we can grab a little bit of momentum up.